Welcome to the channel. I am Ladewaybac, and today, to finish off my week with Anji Mito, I'm going to show you what I've learned and how to win with this character. Anji Mito has a double jump, he can dash in both directions in the sky, and he has moderate speed, so he has pretty balanced movement. Alright, first up we will do our standing punch and crouching punch. They can hit multiple times, as most punches do. And they can cancel into forward punch, but I wouldn't recommend doing that as the range isn't really there for that. But what you can cancel into is your forward heavy slash. And if you're trying to get your opponent off of you and you have a moment in their block string, I would look for that, for the forward heavy punch, because then you could do your Anji mix-ups after that. Next up we have our kick, low kick and our standing kick. Now they can both be canceled into a sweep, and notice how far the sweep goes. So like we're right out of range of the standing kick, but the sweep would hit. So in most cases, those will link together. Unless you're doing it at like max range, then they won't hit. But if you're going low, then the sweep will connect. And what you want to, and also, they both cancel into forward heavy slash, if that's something you're looking for. But if you get the sweep, you have your butterfly setups. So while we're on the topic, I'll go over some Suigetsu setups, which is I'll just call it butterfly for now. So you can put it out. Well, if you're close, you don't want to do it like directly afterwards. I would just go past your opponent. So have a good distance. That's the setup I like to do, because when you kick them and the butterfly lands, and that'll combo. So you could make it a full combo together. Oh, and you could do it with grab also. And then do your combo afterwards. And another one, you can just grab right before the butterfly lands on them. And another one is you can do some like side switch stuff, but I like the other ones better. Now with your sweep, you don't always have to end with the butterfly. You can also end with your anti-air, which is a pretty decent combo, and you get the hard knockdown too, and you can follow up and get in on your opponent. And as you can see, I have Kai doing a wake up punch, so he will get up and punch, or crouching punch. And what I want to show you is you have the advantage if you keep doing this. So this can go on forever, unless they're DP or use an overdrive. As long as this is hitting, you can just keep going. So you can always add in some throws or something. So let's say they're not getting up and doing that, you gotta grab. So be sure to frustrate your opponent with that. So if you get sweeps, you should fish for sweeps, because Anji gets so much off the sweeps, and you can just keep switching it up and get in your opponent's head. And another good reason to use Anji's sweep is you get a really good combo off of the counter. So you want to fish for these, so you can do your combos. That's the basic one. Now that's something you could do if you're not sure if you're gonna get the corner. But here is one that you do if you're certain that you can get the corner. Oh, give me a second. Now that last hit right there, that last slash, you want to get the timing down. It says because after the overhead, like you're still stuck for a second there, so you want to know the perfect time to hit the slash so you can get the wall splat. Now only do that combo if you're certain that you can get the wall. Alright, next we have our close slash. Close slash works effectively like any other close slash. You use it to start your combos if you're close. It can work as an anti-air, I promise. And alright, onto far slash. Now far slash, you can't counter your Fujin into it. I mean combo into it. You can't do that, or with the low either. So you want to do your heavy and then go into your Fujin. Now a cool thing with your crouching slash is you can do some pretty interesting Roman cancels to catch your opponent with a really fast low. And I'll show you some examples now. Alright, so right now I have the opponent set to only blocking highs. I'm not sure why it's lagging when I'm not playing versus anybody. But yeah, only blocking highs, and he can get hit by lows. And that's a really good use because they're not expecting you to go low from that. Because usually after this, you go into Fujin, right? So if that's what they're thinking is gonna happen, you got an instant low. Now keep in mind that Anji has a very slow overhead, and people often see that coming or prepared for it. You know, especially if they fought Anji a bunch of times. So what you can do is, as soon as they see the motion of you going overhead, that's when you do the purple cancel, and then hit him with the low and get yourself a combo. And just like that. Alright, next we will go over our heavy slashes. First up, we have our standing heavy, is what we do before we do our fusion. So even in every situation, so we know that it connects. And our crouching heavy is what we do before we do our ho, our DP. Now, the one that I really want to get into is the forward heavy, as it hits multiple times. So even through block strings, you'll have your idea of what you want to do. So you always go for the grab or go for the overhead after that, because you can cut it early because they're expecting 3 hits. So you can always cut it early, get an overhead, go low, and okay, let me show you, get some guard action going on. Now, one of my favorite things to do with Anji is to, when I do this move, I do a spin during it, the empty spin, and get a grab right after that. And your average person is not ready for that. They're expecting 3 hits. How about 1 and a grab? Okay, on to our jumping normals. First, we have our jumping punch. We can hit multiple times, and it will connect with your other air normals too, if you hit them afterwards. And other than that, I don't see another purpose for it. Next, we have our jumping slash. Now, this is my preferable thing to do when I'm jumping in, because it's pretty fast and it covers a large area. And also another good reason, a good use for it, is jumping backwards and doing it. As if you do an instant backdash, it covers a lot of area, because you can knock them out the sky if they're coming at you through the air, or it'll hit them if they're just, you know, standing on the ground. So it covers above you, in front of you, and under you. So yeah, it's a good defensive tool to have. Next, we have our jumping heavy slash. It's our standard jumping attack. And I'll also talk about dust attack. As you see before, the jumping dust attack will knock them off bounce them off the wall, or it's what we use to end our combos after the anti-air, and to get the wall splat. But another good use for it is if you are double jumping above your opponent, you can throw off their timing of expecting when you fall if you use that, because it delays you in the air. Next, we have our jumping kick. Now, if we're running to our opponent and we jump and we catch him in the sky, let's say we're expecting him to jump, here's a combo you can do. And if they're against the wall and they're trying to jump out, there's a combo for that too. And it's a great air to air. So if you're gonna be in that situation, be sure to throw that out. Next up, we are on to our special moves. Now, first up, we have Shitsu, as you already know how that functions. And like I said before, you're gonna want to do that off of knockdowns. You don't want to just throw that out casually, because it's very slow startup and you could get countered. So be very careful with it. Next, we have Fujin. Now we have, well, before I go over all the things that it can do, let me show you some combos we could do out of Fujin. Now, when you hit your Fujin on somebody and you get a counter, you're gonna want to do the Isukotibi, or which is just this, the hop. We'll call it the hop because I'm not sure if I'm saying the word right. So you get this, you do the hop. You get a fully charged Fujin, you do the hop every time. So let me show you the combos that you could do with these. Alright, first will be our quick version. And now for our version where we hold down the button. Now without the counter. And now for the version where we hold it down, but without a counter. Next, we're going to go over the 4 moves we can do after Fujin. Now, first we have Shin. Then we have our we'll call it the hop. And Nagiha. And Rin. Now, Rin is an overhead. Nagiha is a low. Shin is a jumping projectile. And this is just a gap closer, the hop. And note that there were recent changes to Anji. Before, he would just have to do these moves after the Fujin landed, but now you can just do Fujin and immediately cancel into them. So be very wary of that. First, we'll go over Shin. Now, I like to use Shin in the corner because it leaves you pretty positive. Like I believe you're +2 frames on your opponent. So if you're doing your block strings and they're just blocking everything, you know, throw it out, and then you can keep going and keep him there. So let's say they want to do a crouching punch. So after we do that, they do a crouching punch. If that's what they're trying to do, we can get a combo off of that. So use this to keep your opponent stuck in the corner. But, you know, be better than that. Be faster. Get the timing down, okay? And one more thing on Shin. If you're expecting a hit, you can get a combo. Next one we have is the hop. Now the hop we want to do if we're looking for a grab. And that's one of the better uses of it. Now, be very aware that if your opponent sees it coming, that he can punish you heavily. So don't use it all the time and don't let your opponent get used to you doing it. Now, another use for it is if you're doing your Fujin and let's say your opponent jumps over you, you don't want to be vulnerable afterwards. So, you know, just jump away. Not like that, but you know, if you're stuck open after you use it, then just hop away. So you can create some distance. Now, Nagiha is our low. And typically when we do this, we want to Roman cancel after it. And we could do a completely different combo if we land a counter hit. Now, Rin is the overhead, and be aware that it's rather slow and is usually blocked. And if it is blocked, then you are in a very dangerous spot after that, as you will get comboed. So be very sparing when using it. Now, here's a combo you can do if you do hit Rin. and you keep the pressure going after the hop. Now here's a combo you can do if you get the counter hit. Next up we have Suigetsu, which is our empty spin with nothing happens afterwards. Okay, now this move can be a little iffy at times, so you have to know, you have to recognize the speed of your opponent's attack before you decide how you want to counter them. So we'll do this one. You see here we have Kai blocking, so for this can be countered. It's just really tight timing, so you're gonna have to get used to that, and that's if you time it right. And if you can't time it, you can just go for a grab. Now let's say he's jumping attacking and you spin. You want to go for the grab after that, because you won't have the time to do the attack. As you see, I'm still spinning as he lands, so go for the grab after that. And your opponent might go for the grab also, which will lead to a clash. So if he is doing that, you just jump afterwards and do a combo. And just before we move on to the next special move, I just want to go over more that you have to recognize the speed of the attack before you know how you're going to counterattack. Because I can't counterattack that. But if we have Kai doing a heavy attack, and we witness that, that's an easy one. And for something like the regular slash, that has a tighter timing, because it can be blocked. I'm just doing it right now, but it can be blocked if you're doing it at the wrong time. Now, how our anti-air is it's a very good anti-air, as it's guaranteed a hard knockdown. So you can set up pressure after that, like even if you're in the middle of the screen, you got pressure there, you know. And what I want to show you is a couple of combos you can do. So you're laying all that pressure down on your opponent, and he's stuck in the corner and he's frustrated. He's gonna want to jump out, especially if you're doing stuff like this. He can't jump that. So if you can bait that and get him to jump, you can get some very highly damaging combos. Let me show you a couple. And lastly, we have our overdrives. Now for our, let's see, our slash overdrive, it's the parry. So if they hit that, we get a bunch of damage. So it's nice to do that on wake up if you feel like your opponent's going to attack you upon standing. And our next one is our heavy slash one. It does moderate damage. I wouldn't just throw it out like that. I would typically use it to send the opponent through the wall, but I think meter with Anji is better spent elsewhere, like basically going after combos off of this. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the overdrive. Lastly, I know you've seen this combo already, but I just want to show you the bread and butter that you'll be doing like all the time as Anji. That's the most basic of combos. Now, if you just got the single hit, you could switch it up, because if you do the anti-air, the Ru, afterwards, you won't get the wall splat. So here's the next one if you just get like the single hit. Easy enough. And those are just the bread and butters that you'll be doing. And that is my guide to Anji Mito. Leave a like if this video has helped you in any way, and subscribe for daily fighting game content. Thanks for watching.